Hi everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from StampYourArtOut.com, and I'm here to bring you another live paper crafting class here on Facebook. It is May 20th at 11 a.m. Central Time as I'm broadcasting live, and you are at Stamp Your Art Out with Rachel on Facebook. So there you go. Good afternoon, everyone. Well, actually, good morning. It's still morning, isn't it? I'm just gonna click on a few things here. I have a beautiful card to share with you today, and I got the idea from some fellow demonstrators. Hey, Kathy and Tiffany, how are you? I got this idea from some fellow demonstrators just a couple nights ago. I actually had a whole different card planned, and when I saw this fun fold idea, I said, I have to share it. I was so excited. So I'm going to show you this cool fun fold, and they got the idea actually from Connie Stewart, and then I'm going to show you a couple other versions because I like to show more than one version of my cards. And so I hope that you enjoy this. Again, credit to the two demonstrators who shared this with me on Monday, Kelly Burkhart and Carol Baumgardner. They are sister demonstrators of mine, and we did this fun fold using our own products. So everybody had different versions of it, and we created this card together on a Zoom event on Monday night. So, are you guys ready? Let's move to the computer so that you can see the supplies and measurements that you'll need in order to make the same card that I'm showing today. It's so fun to see everyone pop on. Hi, Paula, and say hello. Thank you. By the way, when you comment, you get entered into a prize drawing. Some of you don't know that because this might be your first live with me, but yes, I do prize drawings based on comments. So you want to comment at least once during the live broadcast, and then you can comment up to a week after to get into the second prize drawing. And so just say hello, tell me where you're from, share the video, and then comment that you shared it. I appreciate when you share the video too. So here are the supplies. I kind of swapped sides here because you can see on the left side, this is something new that I haven't done in my lives. I don't think I've ever done this in my lives, but I added imperial measurements because this stamp set that we're using is called Beautiful World, and it's one of the new ones from the upcoming 2020 through 21 annual catalog. And because it's about the world, it made me think about all my global friends and us in the US. I don't know, there's not too many that use inches or the imperial measurements anymore. So I added metric. Yay. So we have the imperial, which is inches, and then we have the metric on here, which is a totally different height and width on the card. They use A4 cardstock. So I wanted to make sure that you could apply this idea to whatever cardstock and supplies you have. So I hope that helps. I'm not going to promise that every time because it is a little bit more work, but but I hope that this helps some of you. So you can see those are the measurements and where you score. We're using Basic Black, Whisper White, the designer paper called World of Good, and it's a specialty designer paper. I'll show that to you in just a minute. It's very pretty stuff. And then we're using the gold foil paper because I don't have my brass foil paper yet. I ordered it, but we have some delays in shipment, which a lot of companies do at this time because of the pandemic. So I apologize that I don't have that new product with me yet, but this does look just as good with gold. And you can see over here, we're going to be using 3 different dies or framelit sets. So this card does require an investment into the die cutting machine and some dies and things like that, but avid crafters, we really get into it and we have fun with it. And so it's kind of exciting to have all of these ways to cut and emboss. And I highly encourage you that if you are a beginner and you enjoy the paper crafting that you're going to be seeing over the coming months as you get into this, I highly encourage you to invest in the new paper cutter embossing, or the die cutting embossing machine, which you will see is coming soon. We don't have it yet. It's shown in the new catalog though, but we don't have our hands on it yet, and they haven't told us exactly when we're going to be able to get that machine, but just know it's coming soon. Otherwise they wouldn't show it in the new catalog. You can see all the other things that are labeled as new. So anything that's labeled as new is something that you cannot get yet because it's going to debut on June 3rd. And yeah, so let's move to the table. I know, I can't wait either, Jody. All right, here we go. She's talking about the new machine. It's going to be so much fun. And we've, as demonstrators, a lot of us have seen kind of a little mini preview of it. On the demonstrator side of the website, we got to see some peeks, and it is really awesome. All right, here's the new stamp set that I'm going to be featuring called Beautiful World. Has some great sentiments in it. Love the fonts, almost like a handwritten script, and then a serif font on there, just beautiful. And of course the images are gorgeous as well. We have some scrollies, even in the dies that match this set, which you can bundle together and save 10%. The world map dies, there's a little scroll, and so very fun. We're going to be using this die here, which is a pedestal style globe stand, a real tall one, and we're going to stamp one of those images and put this little die cut piece, once we die cut it from the foil paper, over the top. So I'm going to set that one aside. And the paper. So this is the new catalog. If you haven't seen the cover yet, I can only show that at this point. Once June 3rd hits, you'll be able to see the inside of the pages. It's just a rule that we have as demonstrators. We need to follow that. So, all right, so here are the papers, and you can see why they're specialty, because they have foiling on them. 4 of the sheets have foiling on one side, and it's just gorgeous. It's a brass foil, but it's got the gold tones to it, so it really does match well with gold as well. And then the other 2 sheets don't have foiling on them, but gorgeous designs. So we have the North American map here, it looks like, and then we have some compasses, we have grids, and that grid theme is throughout a lot of the papers. Here we have the European portion of the world map. We have some globes, some hemispheres, I should say, because there's half and half, and then we have the latitude, longitude. Now, if you flip these over, you can see that Mossy Meadow is also included in the color choices, and this bumblebee color. This is a new color. This here is cinnamon cider color, so that's also a new color, and then the Misty Moonlight is also a new color, so it includes 3 new in colors. I think this is Bumblebee. Let me peek really quick. I want to make sure I'm telling you that right. Yep, Bumblebee. So 3 of the new in colors are included in this pack of designer paper. On this one, on the flip side of this one, we just have more like a old type of paper that's looks like it's been handwritten on. More compass designs. Again, that subtle grid. Now this I thought was just splotches when I was first showing it, like the first few days after I got it. And I apologize, because if you turn it this way, it's actually, it's the land masses on the world, on the globe. See, you can see there's South America, there's Australia. Yeah, so sorry about that. And then we have kind of like a dirty piece of paper with grid on it. And then more of the latitude, longitude look with some constellation type images in there. So I'm going to put that aside, and we're going to pull out a piece of that is 4 by 6 right now, and I'm going to work in the imperial or inches measurements for my card that I'm going to demonstrate, but then I'll share with you a version using the A4 or the metric. Okay, all right, so, and we'll also be using basic black and whisper white. I like to work in those basic colors a lot, don't I? We're going to need a scrap of white, which we could pull from the white that we already have, but I'm going to go ahead and just cut it from the smaller piece, and then we need the scrap of foil. So as I tidy and pull everything in, we're going to grab our trimmer. So this fun fold, shared with my 2 fellow demonstrators by Connie Stewart, she didn't name this fun fold in her video, and I don't know if she got the idea from somewhere else or not, but I'm naming it. I'm going to call it a tucked Z-fold card, because the Z-fold is tucked inside and you don't see it until you open the card. Okay, I love it. Somebody said, who was that said they were drooling? Eileen. She said she would drool all over this paper because it's so pretty. And I have to apologize, because now the sun is shining. It's so funny. We've been having just this cloudy morning, and so I thought, I don't need my thing that I put over my window. It's kind of like this black foam board that I use on my window so that I don't have this white glowy face. Like right now, it's probably hard to see my face. But I didn't put it up. So sorry about that. All right, it is gorgeous paper, isn't it? All right, here we go. We're gonna go ahead and cut our card base. Our card base is going to be basic black, and we're going to cut that in half. This is 11 inches this way, and so we're gonna cut it at 5.5 inches. And we don't need that other half, so you could make 2 cards with this. We're gonna turn it this way, and we're gonna score at 4.25 inches. So funny. I was telling my boys and my husband, I said, I'm going live real soon, so you gotta be quiet. And the loudest noise I hear right now is this beautiful bird sound. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's beautiful. All right, so we have our black ready. For our designer paper, we're going to cut a piece that is 4 inches wide by 5.25 inches tall. And I'm going to be a little careful where I cut because some of you know I'm an Outlander fan. I love the books, and I'm into the series on what is it, Stars. So Scotland is up here on this map, and I don't want that Scotland to disappear. So we're going to cut towards the top of this. We're going to remove the top portion here because I want to make sure that the Scotland shows on my card. I know I'm weird. Okay, so we have that cut, and that way we'll just make sure that when we're die cutting into this, that we can leave that exposed there. I'm weird, I know. This piece here, which I should have cut as I was cutting this, I should have cut my small piece and my small piece, but we're just going to cut this in half right now. 3/8 of an inch on either side. Let me zoom in so you can see that a little better. Oops, I'm hitting the wrong camera. There we go. All right, so we have a real narrow piece, which is 3/4 of an inch, and we're going to cut that in half, which is 3/8 of an inch on either side. So if you lay it in there real carefully, and then you take this arm of your trimmer, put it down and hold it tight, it should stay in place. And it did, yay. So we have those pieces that can go across. Now this is 4 inches wide, so we're gonna trim that at 2 inches, but I recommend trimming it when it's on your card. We're not going to trim it now because you might have to cut off a little fraction of it anyways. It's going to go where creases are, so we want to make sure that we don't cut that, so that we don't have to cut it twice, okay? So now we're going to cut the white piece, and the white piece is slightly smaller. It is 5.25 inches tall by, and again, we could have used that scrap, but it's too big of a scrap, so I pulled out a smaller one for the scrap that we need, by 8 inches wide. Okay, and then we have our scrap white, and we have our scrap gold foil or brass foil if you have that. We're going to score on this one. We're going to score at 4 inches, which will divide that in half, and then we're going to score again at 2 inches. And we're actually going to flip this around. So these 2 score lines are going to be on the right hand side. All right, now if we're looking at A4 cuts, we would have a piece, and I'll just tell you the measurements here, which should help. We have, hold on a minute. I have my, okay, I don't know if you guys do this too, but I have my little cheat card here. This is my cheat card that shows A4 or metric size. So this is going to be 14.8 centimeters tall by 21 centimeters wide, and cut in or scored in half is 10.5 centimeters. And then the white one is 14.2 centimeters tall, 19.8 centimeters wide, 9.9 scored in the middle, and then a little under 5 centimeters scored in this direction. And then we have our designer paper, which is 14.2 centimeters tall by 9.9 centimeters wide. And these 2 little pieces would then be 9.9 centimeters wide by about 1 centimeter tall. Okay, hope that helps some of you. I'm gonna move those out of the way. And we're going to pull in our glue and our Big Shot. The Big Shot is a die cutting machine that we used to have, so I apologize for that. We do not have that available right now. It hasn't been available in a while, but that is what demonstrators are using right now while we transition into the new die cutting embossing machine. Oh, thanks, Diana. I don't know where that comment came from. I choose you, but that was very sweet of you. All right, we're going to grab this piece and we're going to glue that partially to the front of our black. So let's fold this in half with our bone folder. And and Kathy's loving the new catalog. Yay! Okay, we're going to fold this in half, and this is going to get glued to the front partially, I said, because we want to be able to remove the black cardstock. So we're actually going to glue this, we're going to die cut, and then we want the black cardstock that's underneath here to be able to be removed. So in order to do that, we're going to bring in the adhesive of choice today is going to be multi-purpose liquid glue. So we're just going to do a thin line of that across the top back side here, and that will attach it to the cardstock. And you want to make sure that you're not going right up to the edge, because we're going to crank this through the die cutting machine and we don't want the glue to ooze out. So it has to be enough where when you squish it down hard, it doesn't go out the sides, okay? In fact, if you're going to be, using this type of glue, you want to get in the habit of making sure you don't get oozes out the sides, unless you have like an adhesive remover or whatever, because this stays tacky if it's exposed. Adhesive removers are great for getting rid of that, but we don't have those right now. All right, I'm going to bring in the die cutting machine, and we're going to get our platforms ready. So we need our platform, we need a cutting base, we need our card, and we're going to use from our layering circles dies, we're going to use the largest of these smooth circles. So these are the dies that you get with the layering circles, and I'm going to be using the largest of the smooth one. Okay, can you see that? So let's just lay that right here so that we are not covering up the word Scotland. I'm a weirdo. All right, and then I'm going to use a Post-it note because I'm not using my magnetic board today, which typically has been an extra investment. I haven't peeked to see what the new die cutting machine has, but we want to show you that if you have just the base supplies for the die cutter, this is the way things used to be, where you use a Post-it note to hold your die in place, and that works really well. You just put it on top, not where the cutting edge is, and then we lay this on top like that, so it's sandwiched between two cutting mats, and we're going to go ahead and where did I get the stand? Esther asks. Yes, I knew that was going to come up. Sorry. It was a gift, but there are a lot of these stands on Etsy, I think is where my girlfriend Vicky got it. I have put links to this before. If you just put in Tombow multi-purpose liquid glue stand in like an Etsy search, you should be able to find them. There's a lot of different ones, but yeah, and it's green. Vicky knows me. Then you just peel this right off, and you can see how it's separating. So this designer paper, I could totally use somewhere else. We're not going to be using it on this card, but we will be using the black. So I'm going to save the black. We can set those dies aside. And somebody has asked where I've gotten the magnetic, somebody's asked this before too, the magnet sheets and the little sleeves. I am an affiliate for Stamp and Storage. I love their stuff. So I will try to remember to put a link for that in the description too. Right now the description does not have links for either one of these, but I know some of you are wondering that because you've asked that in the past. So I'll put a link to that as well. And if you use that direct link, then I get a little credit. You don't have to, but I will post that in there. Okay, so now that we've got this circle cut out, we're going to include that in our supplies because we will need that. And then we're going to take our glue and we'll take the cap off again, and we'll just take the black, flip it over a little bit like this so that we can see under here, and we're just going to start adding that glue to the remaining sections on the back side. So I just added, and it doesn't have to be pretty because you're not going to see it, but just enough where it's not going to ooze out and it's going to hold it in place. We are transitioning to a new tape runner type of adhesive, so I'm trying to stay away from my snail right now. But snail is comparable to the new stuff that we are getting. I'm trying to remember the name of it. Someone who's a demonstrator, or maybe, you know, who's not a demonstrator, tell me what it's called again. I can't remember. Just put it in the messages, and then hopefully I'll see it and I can call it out. Stamp and seal. Oh, I remembered it. Stamp and seal. So yes, we're gonna have stamp and seal. So there we go. We've got that portion of the card done. Now we're gonna stamp on this scrap here with one of our stamps from that set. We've got a couple stamps that I'll be using. This one is 1/2 of the hemisphere. It's a hemisphere, right? 1/2 of the hemisphere would be 1/4 of the world. Hema means half, right? So it's a hemisphere. And we're going to stamp that. And we're going to die cut that. And this time we'll be using, of our stitched shape dies, we're going to be using the second to the largest circle. So these dies have like this little stitching, kind of a little etched stitching that goes all the way around. And Seal Plus, thank you, Catherine. Yes, there's going to be another adhesive that is sort of like Fast Fuse. Used to be, it's a stronger one. So they're gonna have Stamp and Seal Plus. Thank you. All right, so now we're gonna die cut this, and this should be, oh, then we can die cut one more thing. We'll die cut, and then we'll set this big machine out of the way. So let's take we've got our 2 plates here. So here's our bottom plate, and we're gonna add our Post-it note over our image like that and hold that in place. We'll grab our gold foil paper and we'll set our other die. Here it is. We'll set that one on here. Let's see here. How can we use the most of this paper, right? There we go. Okay, now we've got those in there, so that we're using that paper to the best of its ability. That way we have more of it later on to use, right? Never die cut right in the middle of a beautiful foil piece of paper, right? Okay, so let's take those behind me. And what did we get? Oh wow, that's the most centered I've done it since. I think the Post-it note helped. So there's that piece, and you can see the faux stitching. Just little pin pricks all the way around that, you know, like little holes that look like stitching. And so that's gonna go onto our card that way. And this piece here, which kind of looks like a big smile or a moon or a fat banana. There we go. There's our other piece right there. And you can see some embossing even right in the bottom portion here. So there's our globe stand. And we'll set all of this behind us. I like having this table behind me. It really is a great place to get rid of things I don't need anymore. Okay, we're ready. So let's grab our adhesive. Oh yeah, we need to stamp one more thing. So grab your Memento Tuxedo Black one more time, and our white paper. So our base, our white base, needs to get stamped with the inside sentiment. So we're going to fold over this way, and then we're going to fold back this way. And this is the Z fold. You can see the Z, right? So let's add our creases, or crisp our creases by running the bone folder on there. Okay, and that'll keep it a little bit flatter. Now when we open this up, because we need to open it up first and stamp, you kind of see now, once you put that score line in there, where that edge is, it's a little bit more emphasized than if you have it flat while you're stamping. And it helps to put labels on your stamps. I did not. I get too excited, and more often than not, my stamps are not labeled. When I want to use them, I want to use them. So I don't put the labels on them all the time. This one does not have a label on it. So pounce up and down to ink up your stamp. Center the best you can. Press down evenly. Ta-da! By the way, this is a cling mount stamp. We have ones that are also photopolymer, which are totally clear, and they don't have that little cushion in there. And so it's always been recommended that you use the Stamp and Pierce mat under your stamping which I need to get in the habit of doing more often, but I didn't bring it out today, even though I wanted to, because you don't need them with the cling mount stamps or the ones that have that cushion already within there. But with the photopolymer, it's really highly recommended. It was on the retiring list of products, and it was just announced that they're bringing it back because it is a very good tool. So no worries, that Stampin' Pierce mat is going to remain current. So there, just wanted to share that little news with you. All right, we've got our beautiful, look at that, I got a little smudge there. That's okay. That's okay, we'll just, when we sign the card, because it's very faint, you guys can hardly probably even see it. See? So when we sign the card, that's where we can write. Okay, this piece is gonna go on the inside like this now. So let's flip it over. Actually, before we do that, see, I did this mistake before. Yes, it is a beautiful card to represent the world and blessings and stuff like that. Who said that? Linda. Thank you, Linda. Life's a beautiful journey. Great for a graduate too, or someone who's moving into a new phase of their life. So let's take and add these little strips, and we're going to add them to the bottom, along the bottom of the white. And for one of them, I'm just going to add it halfway, and I have to make sure I have this upright. Ah, yeah, we have that one upside down. So this one's going to be our all the way one. Let's put glue on that all the way. Lift it up and stick it down here. I'm putting it about 1/8 of an inch from the bottom. Okay, and then this one, let's see, make sure we're going in the right direction here. Okay, because there's words on this map. So we're going to glue halfway. And you can see here how I did not put it right up to that little fold, because when I fold it over, I don't want it to get bunched up and messed up. So this piece is also just going to go right up to it and not get caught in there. See how there's a little gap? That allows for the card to be folded. And then, now that we've got that done, we can take our paper snips, flip it over, trim it off, and then we can open this up, join our pieces together, but again, leave a small gap for that fold. We're allowing for that fold. And now you can see, this is why we didn't want to cut beforehand. Do you see that small little overlap there? Okay, it sticks out a bit. I don't know if you can see that there. It sticks out a bit on that side, and it sticks out just a tiny bit on this side. So we're going to go ahead and trim that now. All right, so that step you probably want to do before you add the card to the inside. Oh, it helps to trim on this side, Rachel. There we go. Okay, now we can add this to the inside of our card, and we're going to keep it folded flat when we add it. All right. By the way, those of you that are commenting, thank you so much. It's fun to hear from you. Makes me feel like I'm not stamping alone, that I actually am doing a class for people. So thank you for keeping me company during these lives. I love it. I love teaching. But if you comment, you also get entered into the prize drawing. I forget to mention that sometimes throughout my videos. So please comment and you will get entered. We're going to do a live drawing towards the end. And then if you don't win that one, you still will get entered into the second drawing that I do about a week later. Okay, let's add this carefully in here. And we have room for wiggles because it's a liquid glue. Good, that looks great. So we're going to add that in there. This is going to get glued on next, our black circle. So we're going to close this up. I'm zooming in a bit. And we're going to glue on this portion, the part that folds in, but not this portion, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to open our card. So we're going to glue just here. And I got a little close here, so hang on, I'm going to get messy. Rachel's going to get messy. Oh no, Rachel got messy. Okay, and then we're going to set this right in here like that. And we're going to lift this up. And then we're going to use a piece of paper. Actually, it's drying enough now where I can just rub it off my glue. All right, so that's done. This globe is going to get popped up with dimensionals. So we'll put 3 back there. It's kind of a big circle, so I recommend 3 on something that large. If it's a smaller shape, you can probably get away with just 1. Or if you're my friend Nancy, you probably want to just coat the whole back thing with dimensionals. I don't know if she's live with me, but I love you, Nancy. She takes the teasing well. She even says it about herself. She's a dimensional person. Okay. All right, so there we go. And those of you that watch her know that as well. Okay, so we've got that in there. And then this piece is going to get stuck on here. But notice that when we open this card up, we don't want glue on this part of our pedestal stand. We want it just on this side. And we also want this to be stuck onto our globe area. So we've brought in our silicone mat and our adhesive again. And we're just gonna put a little bit of glue on the mat. And then we're gonna take a sponge, and I always keep a sponge set aside for this. I don't clean it very often, which is sad because I have to throw them away once in a while. What you wanna do is when you're done using this sponge, the way I'm gonna show you, is you wanna rinse it under warm water right away, and then you wanna allow it to dry. And that way it won't get the buildup of glue so much, and it'll last longer. You can use it time and time again in this same way. So we're gonna pounce up and down into our glue, and now we have glue on the surface of our sponge. So that is going to get sponged on the back side, upper portion, right through here. Not all the way down, because we don't want the glue to be in areas where it's going to be exposed. We're just gonna do it up here, and keeping this piece still, because if you move it, then it'll get glue on the front. So there's that, and then on the back side here, we're just gonna put a little drop of glue. In fact, that might have been too much. There we go. Okay, now flip it over. Move that out of the way for a minute. We're gonna line this up with our globe on here. We're going to put the, hey, look at that. It's kind of like it's sitting on a table. The designer paper at the bottom looks like it's part of a table. That's pretty cool. I did not plan that. All right, so there's that. Now this is stuck up here and this is stuck right here. We're just gonna let that dry for a minute. And what you wanna do with this is you wanna sponge off all the excess glue, run it under warm water, and then this can just peel up or roll off. You can roll it off with your fingers when it's dry, or I like to just grab a piece of packaging tape and stick it on there, and it just kind of lifts the whole thing away. So there's that. Okay, let's put the cap on this. We're almost done with this card. Are you loving it? It is a great graduation card. That's right. Thanks, Pauline, for mentioning that. Life's a beautiful journey. So it's going to open and close like this, and we just have, I keep getting little dust pieces on there. You can really see that on black and white paper, can't you? So life's a beautiful journey, and you can see how it opens up. We're going to grab our last bit of embellishments. That's going to be our gold glitter enamel dots. And I thought since this sentiment has a dotted eye, that we could just use one of these tiny ones and just add that right on top of our eye. I should have brought the take your pick tool, but I did not. So we didn't get it. Oh, there, we moved it. We were able to move it. These guys are sticky. They are sticky little guys. So there we go. There's that. Our dotted eye has gold on it. And when we close this up, you could put some here if you wanted to, but I just think 3 more kind of here and there looks really nice. So we'll do a big one. We'll do a small one, smaller one. There's like 1, 2, there's 4 different sizes on here. And then we'll do kind of the second biggest one over here. So there we go. Just, kind of like it gold, like you kind of just threw some gold onto it. So isn't that pretty? So there is our card. Great, again, for someone who's transitioning into a new phase of their life, graduation, a new job, that sort of thing. Life's a beautiful journey. And then here is another version of that same card. This is the first one I made. It's using the Marina Mist, Rachel. Misty Moonlight, the Misty Moonlight foiled designer paper with the latitude longitude lines. You make the world a better place. This would be a great one to give to somebody who is one of our essential workers in the health field areas, in our stores, people who are kind of, you know, taking those chances and working with the public. So that would be a great card to send to one of them. And then here is a larger, I shouldn't say larger, taller and narrower version. This is the A4 size, and I did that with the one that has the grid design on it. And this is in A4, so symmetric, and that's just another one. So you can see the different styles here. In fact, here, we'll take this one and open it up. Yeah, we'll open this one up so that you can kind of see them all at once. I like to do this at the end of my video, or towards the end of my video, so that everyone can kind of get a glance at them all at once. Plus, I get a good screenshot sometimes for my for my still shot for my video. So I hope that you enjoyed that fun fold. Again, I'm calling that the tucked Z fold, and you can see why. It's kind of tucked in, right? Now, we have prizes to draw, and I wanted to kind of update you guys a little bit too here. First of all, before I update you, I just want to mention that this suite of products, again, it's new in the upcoming 2020 through 21 annual catalog. It's debuting then, and it's beautiful. It's got some really amazing products in that suite. Things that I didn't show you yet. There's a ribbon that's early espresso that's so yummy. There's these little elements that look like photo corners and buckles. They call them slides, I think. And then there, what else is in there? Oh, an embossing folder. An embossing folder that's just to die for. So anyways, you can order a whole suite with one order number if you fall in love with the suite like I did, or you can get it in bits and pieces, like I'm showing you the parts of today. But just know that we have to wait till June 3rd. In the meantime, just add it to your wish list. This is going to be the suite that the All Stars tutorial group that I'm in is going to feature in June. So if you are somebody who gets in on those tutorials, maybe you have a subscription to the tutorials, or you buy them each month, or you earn them with your orders, you can get this one, a whole bunch of fun ideas using this suite. And again, that will be available on June 1st, okay? Someone is asking me about my carpal tunnel, and so I just wanted to update you because I don't think I ever did. It was not diagnosed as carpal tunnel. I had pain in my wrist areas and joints and stuff in my hands, especially my right hand, because I do a lot of responding to comments. Like physically, I will type out responses because I love to read and respond to all of you, but I have tried really hard not to respond to everybody. Instead, I read through them all and I smile and I go, oh, and then I respond to just a few here and there if there's like a question or whatever, and it's relieving my muscle strain. It's muscle strain. I was diagnosed with, it's just tension. I have too much tension, so I need to try not to use the computer as much, which is great because carpal tunnel is like more serious than just stiff muscles. So I do a lot of stretching. Okay, not that everyone wanted to hear that, but a lot of you have asked, so I thought I would tell you. All right, we have a prize that has not been claimed yet, so I want to mention that. Bertie Ward, you have not claimed your Fast Fuse prize yet. So if you are watching, make sure you get a hold of me, or that's going to go back into my bucket for someone else. There's like a time limit, so try to get a hold of me within the next week, okay? And then we have prizes from last week that we're going to show again. So these are, I'll move these aside now. I think you've had a good peek at them. This is the prizes that we drew for last week. The Noble Peacock rhinestones, which are leaving, along with a couple sheets of dimensionals from past paper pumpkin kits, because I'm a paper pumpkin fan. And so I have a lot of that adhesive to give away. So here we go. So those are the prizes, and the winners for those prizes, let me pull up your names here, and we will show them on the computer. Got to get rid of this first. There we go. Okay. So Leah Jorgensen from the Facebook Live from last week. Leah, you won the rhinestones, and I love her comment. Pretty rhinestones. So I'm guessing she was commenting about the prize, which is pretty awesome. So Leah, you get that prize, and you'll want to make sure that you get in touch with me. And then we have the other winner is Rhonda, and all I got was J. Rhonda J is how she has her name listed on YouTube. So hopefully she will hear her name and get in touch with me. Thank you for your comment too. So those are set aside for those two people. For the prize today, we're bringing back some prizes that have not been claimed. We have some prizes that have not been claimed, you guys. So they are now back in the bucket. Look at that. Some ones that some of you I know would love to have. Power of Hope, Thoughtful Blooms, Rise and Shine, Little Ladybug. These all come from the celebration time that we just finished up with, end of March. I have extra stamp sets, and I would love to give them out. So one of you gets to choose. Well, and you know what? If you have all of these, I'll throw in this too, because I have a lot of this still left too. If you have a lot of it, I'll give you a consumable prize choice. Okay, so fast fuse. So if you get your name drawn today, you get to pick from any of those 5, and then next week we will draw winners before the live begins, and I'll announce them for 2 other winners, one from YouTube commenters and one from the remainder of the Facebook commenters. Okay, so let's go to the computer and get our comment pickers set up. Hang on just a second. Okay, so there's my Facebook page. Let's go to comment picker. Oh no, we need to be on the Facebook page right now because we have to grab the link from our live video. Okay. All right, so we're going to click on videos, and when I click on the link, all the comments that you got, I love it. Mary says, Ladybug, please. Karen says, oh, I need little Ladybug. I love it. And somebody's calling out for fast fuse. Anne said, I think it was Anne. Nume said, I love it, you guys. This is great. You're all yelling out what you want. This is great. Kelly wants a little ladybug. Okay, so we're going to grab the link. Here's the World of Good, Tucked Z-Fold. There is our live going on right now. I've got my sound off on the computer, so you can, it looks like we're there, but yeah, okay. Oh, and thank you for the hearts. I don't see those when I'm doing my lives. When I'm looking at this screen, I never see them, but thank you. That's so kind. Okay, now we're going to go over to comment picker. I love you guys. We're going to go over here to enter our link for that video and click on Get Comments. So hopefully you commented, because that gives you a chance, right? And Marie, was it? Marie loves the mugs. Okay, we have 203 of you that have commented. That's not how many comments there are so far. That's how many people have commented, because you each get entered once. Karen likes the fast fuse. Love it. You guys are great. Paula wants Rise and Shine. So now I'm going to click on the Start button. Here we go. Who's the winner? And if your name gets drawn, try to reach me. Vicki Tillett. Yay! Congratulations, Vicki. Awesome. Love this. Very different from anything I've seen. I know, right? I love that fun fold too. I'm so glad that that was shared with me and I could share it with you. Okay, so Vicki, make sure that you reach me. If you are not familiar with my blog, I invite you to, oh, did we not have it up? You guys didn't even see. You didn't see me draw. Oh, I'm feeling so bad. I'm going to go back to that page. You're probably all like, where'd she go? I just had it on my desk the whole time. You were watching my hands. I feel so bad. Yeah, I put the link in here. I clicked Get Comments, and then we drew Vicki's name. And you didn't see the process, but it happened. Congrats to Vicki. Yes. My goodness. All right, now we'll go back. So this here is my my blog. If you haven't visited before, I welcome you to see what I share. I share about 3 to 4 times a week. You can click on home and then click subscribe, and you can actually get subscription posts, like things that will go to your inbox in your emails every time I post. You just enter your email here. It's not daily. Some demonstrators post daily. I do it about 3 to 4 times a week, and that way you won't miss it, and you don't have to keep coming back here all the time. You can also see posts through Facebook. My posts go to Facebook on my page here. So if you're following my page, you can see them come up there. And if you want to, you can subscribe to my newsletter too. The blog is where I share things the quickest, though, just so you know. And then my newsletter, I try not to do more than 2 a month. Typically it's even 1 a month, and it's usually when the month turns into a new month. So that you get informed of less often. Speaking of newsletters, we'll come back to here. I have dry mouth today. I don't know what's going on. I need more water. But speaking of newsletters, some of you that get my newsletter have been asking if I'm doing the garage sale this year, and I am not. A lot of you can probably understand why. I do not want to have to sanitize all my objects after people look at them, for one thing. We just don't know enough about this virus, and I do not want the risk of having infection spread during an event like that. So that is going to be held off, and I don't know if I do anything online or not, but I know that there are some demonstrators that are doing an online type of version of their garage sale type things. I'd have to look into how to do that and what I do. I'm kind of getting some ideas from other demonstrators, but I don't know. So at this point, if you are someone who normally comes and attends my garage sale, just know it's not going to happen this summer, okay? I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, there's a day of service tomorrow. For those of you watching the recorded version on YouTube later, you will have missed this, but for those of you watching live, I just want to mention that Stampin' Up! Is putting on a day of service online to include everybody tomorrow, and basically what we're doing is gathering up some supplies. We're following Sarah Douglas on her Facebook page, and we are making some cards together. So gosh, I'm gonna write that down. I need to try to put a link into the description of this video too. So we need a link for the glue holder, right? We needed a link for, well, we'll do a link for the day of service. And what was the other thing? I can't remember now. That's so bad. Somebody remind me. And I'll look at the comments as I'm finishing this up. So next week, I will broadcast Wednesday, May 27th. That is the day after, or the 2 days after Memorial Day weekend. So I'm going to broadcast then. And again, here on my page, 11 a.m. Central Time. So Wednesdays typically is when I do it at 11 a.m. Central Time. And this, oh yes, this idea will post on my blog. So this card and photos of the other ones as well. This will post on my blog at stampyourartout.com in just 2 days. So on Friday, I will share this with you. If you want any of these products and you'd like to shop from me, let's say you're not a demonstrator or you don't shop from somebody else already, you can certainly go to my store, and you can find that at stampyourartout.com and just click shop. And again, these list of supplies, the measurements, the photos, they will all show up on my blog in just 2 days on Friday, May 22nd. Magnetic boards. Thank you, Kathy. I'm gonna pull that in. This will remind me. I'm just gonna put this right in front of me. So I want the magnetic boards, the glue holder, and then the day of service link information for that. I will put that all in the description of this video. Thank you, everyone. This went a little over in time, but I hope that you had fun, and I hope that you come back next week. Thanks, everyone. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.